Welcome to Life at 113, home of Groff Sawmill and Joy's Kitchen. I've been doing some work on the Minneapolis-Moline, and we actually have two Minnies on the property. We have the Minneapolis-Moline 4034A, the power unit that runs our sawmill, and then we have the RTU, the tractor. So I've been doing some work on the tractor. Let's get into it. So this is a 1940 Minneapolis-Moline RTU. The RTU was the two wheels in the front, the narrow front. This had a garage restoration, two owners prior to me. I purchased it at an auction that was right across the field from us, actually. It was Bud Reif Snyder's collection, quite an extensive collection of farm equipment that Mecum held a single auction for. Hundreds and hundreds of people were there, and hundreds of tractors and a lot of different farm machinery and farm implements. I was able to crank start it once or twice. Haven't been able to do that for quite some time. My goal will be to get this completely restored to the point where I can actually crank start it without a problem. There have been major electrical issues. I did purchase a new wiring harness for the tractor, and we'll be installing that as soon as I have everything running as best I can get it. The instrument panel isn't authentic. It may be a part of the old one because it does look like it has that little spot up top for the panel light. One of the things I wanted to check were the spark plugs. I replaced these when I first bought the tractor from the Mecum auction, and never really paid attention to the gap of them and all of that. So I wanted to check the gap. You can see I pulled these out in order. You can see they get progressively darker as they go down the cylinders, and you can see that by the time it gets to the fourth cylinder, it's fairly well carbon stained, burnt out. There's a lot of sediment on there. So I did want to check each one of them for gap first of all, and they seem to be gapped properly. That one's a little bit tight, but it's still good. This one is a little loose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this one up first, and then re-gap it, and see if that doesn't solve some of the problem. I took a real quick wire brush to it on the drill press, and again, I'm going to check the gap on this. I think it's a little bit shy. It really shouldn't be causing any problems, but I'm going to go ahead and gap this a little bit. Compress that just a tad. Just put the feeler gauge in there when I'm doing it, but don't go too tight. Yeah, it's a little tighter than it was before. I'm just going to clean these others up real quick. It was running very well before, several years ago. That fourth cylinder, I'll have to keep an eye on it though. Well, I have all the plugs cleaned up and ready to go. I made sure that I kept all the wires straight because I did not want to lose track as to what the firing sequence was for the magneto. It's important to keep that straight. So I kept them all in order. I'm going to put the spark plug that seemed to be burning in the first cylinder, in a different cylinder, just to make sure that it's not a spark plug issue, which is very unlikely. But I want to make sure that I cover all my bases. So that one's in the first cylinder. And if I get this thing running well, I'll run it for several days and then come back to it and check out that the spark plugs, see how they're burning. You can see that I've just dropped a spark plug. You can see that I've stripped out most of the wires. I wanted to make sure that there was no electrical issue causing a problem. It's really unlikely with the magneto running and the battery out once I start it. It's very unlikely that any electrical issue could cause a problem. But I'm stripping them out anyway. And the second part of this, I'll call it a restoration. It's not really a restoration, kind of getting it back in running shape. The second part of that will be the new wiring harness that I have for it. So that'll be part two. You can see that I've replaced the hose for the air cleaner. That was a makeshift device from one of the previous owners when they did the garage restoration. And so I just made sure that I had a clean air passage there without too many connections. So the spark plugs are in. Go ahead and connect each one. Make sure that they actually connect in there before I push that boot up against it. When I first bought the tractor, a friend of mine from church, who is the president of the local John Deere, the Southeast Pennsylvania John Deere vintage tractor organization, helped me get it running. He actually took it back to his property and got it running. And we sent the magneto out to have that redone. So everything was running fairly well when I first purchased it a few months after that. But you can see, with this wiring, I was never really sure how things were working and whether they were wired correctly. And I kept running through batteries. So the batteries would just go. So there are several possible causes for that, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to rewire it anyway. Let's get it rewired. Let's get it tuned up, get it rewired, and then I can deal with any minor issues from there. Again, it is a 6-volt positive ground. I did get a red top battery for it, just to be sure. So there are some things that aren't quite authentic here, but with the spark plugs in and the wires out, I've flushed the gas tank. I'm still getting a little bit of rust in that sediment bowl, but not very much at all anymore. And I think that I'm ready to give it a shot. Now, I did also drained the radiator, replace that fluid. I did a complete oil change and flushed that a little bit. I also had an issue with the carburetor, where after I tried to start it for a little bit, the drain hole was just pouring gas out. So I took the easy way out of that, and I adjusted the float inside the carburetor to see if that wouldn't help it out. I have the choke disconnected at this point, so if I need the choke to try and get it started, then I'll do that manually. But first, we're going to try and get Joy to give us a pull on the John Deere tractor and see if we can't pull start it, get it rolling. Nope. Keep it coming. Just have to go a little bit more. That's fine. Go ahead. Keep going. Okay. Well, the cutoff switch was on a little bit, so that's why it wasn't starting when she was pulling me. So I finally realized I was out just a touch, and that's what was keeping it from starting. So it starts up just fine when it's kick-started. You can hear it's running very smooth. Let's check see if there's oil pressure being registered yet. You can see the pressure is up above 40. That's excellent. The amperes aren't showing anything because I don't have a battery hooked up. Water temperature, that's what we're going to watch while I drive it around. So I'm going to get this unhooked from Joy's tractor. Give it a little more gas. I'm in second gear right now. Plenty of power. Very well. I'm going to put it in third gear. Doesn't even hesitate. Perfect. There's some Deere. Running through there. All right, I'm going to try fourth gear just for grins. Uh-oh.
Ah. Oh no.
Bring the tractor. Well, fourth gear stalled it out, which isn't so good since I have to kick start it to get it started. Well, I tried to kickstart it, but or jump start it with the starter rod, but that's not happening. Not quite in that good a shape yet. Me or the tractor, I guess. So Joy's on her way. That's good. All right, starting up in third gear again. Go ahead. That's how easy it starts with the cutoff switch in the right position. It's all just practice. All right, I'll stay closer to home now. All right. Third gear. Run into Joy, so I'm going to go down to second gear. water pressure is, or water temperature is staying in the green. Oil pressure is perfect. Very little leakage. I was told once by one old codger that a little bit of oil seepage between the gaskets, it's the tractor telling you that it's still alive. So can't complain. Perfect. Loving it. Okay, this is the second attempt to use the battery to start rather than having Joy pull me with the tractor. I have the Optima battery. It's a 6-volt battery. Remember, this is a 6-volt setup. I have and it's positive ground. I have a positive ground to the other side of the chassis. The cable's a little bit long. I tried this earlier with jumper cables, and of course jumper cables are maybe 6 gauge cable or smaller. And the cables just heated up and there wasn't enough power, enough juice to get the motor started. So hopefully this is going to solve that. I have the older battery cables that I had made several years ago. They're still not thick enough. I want to get 2/0 cables to do this, and I want shorter cables. I want to have as short as possible so that we have less line drop in the cables themselves. So I'm just connecting this directly to the motor. I can confirm that the starter motor is capable of starting the tractor. Okay, so I'm going to turn on the gas. I'm going to make sure that the kill switch is engaged or not engaged, and give it a little bit of gas and see what happens. Now, this is not, of course, recommended as far as a way to start it. It does cause sparks, so if it doesn't work, I'm going to quit right away. Can't beat that. Started right away. Didn't even engage the choke. You can see I've got the choke disconnected there. Didn't have to have much gas. It just started right away. So now I can move on to actually having the battery mounted, getting the permanent cables hooked up, and getting the new wiring installed. Well, it's great to have the Mini running reliably again. Really looking forward to the next phase, getting that wiring redone so that she's complete. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, hit that subscribe button below, and we'll see you next time.